I think it is going to be primarily used for biology experiments. So one of the unknown things is what does lack of gravity do to various biological systems? So if you recall, there was an earlier experiment on the space station, the first module, where to do with growth of cancer cells. It was an experiment, I think, for Norway. So I think different biological systems uh, behave differently in microgravity, and we don't know this. And serendipitously, we might come across a relationship or something that you could do that would directly have implications of a lot of life systems on Earth. So I think it's a very important frontier to explore. Um, uh, what can be learned from microgravity in space? I think what is happening here is you're looking serendipitously. Serendipitously, no discovery is guaranteed, but these are very important systems, micro biological systems. And the other thing which is huge is, see, we have been trying to live in space as the human race for a long time. But the human body is really not built for space. So some of these biological experiments help us understand what can you do in terms of bone loss in space, loss of calcium. So our body is not used to living in space. But so you see here, astronauts will stay here for 6 months. But how are you going to go to Mars? Mars takes 2 years to go and come back. So there is a lot to learn of how to live in space, and the study of the biological systems gets us further on that road.
Well, we've been doing life science in space for nearly half a century, and it's an iterative process where you stand on the shoulders of who's come before you. And it's interesting to watch what China's put in place in terms of the facilities. It should be possible, as a matter of fact, some of the people who are going to be doing research on there are from Europe, and they've done research on the International Space Station. So we may see actually the same hardware, or very similar hardware, move between the stations, much like you would see a shipping container go from one country to another. And that's the smart thing that China did about the space station. But in terms of the research, we're at the point now where we have a basic understanding of probably what we know about what goes wrong with life science in space. And it's my understanding from China that they're more focused in on the application of some of what's been learned before. So you probably see a lot of genetic studies up there, some cellular studies, cell culture studies, and things like that. Things with possibly a direct applicability to things that we might need here back on Earth. But a lot of it's still going to be basic, because we may know some things, but we still don't know many more things.